Meghan a geriatric mother. The family claims and states that Meghan had a hysterectomy. How can a woman with a hysterectomy be pregnant? And most of all, why did the royal family, go along with this? And what's going to happen now that this has come out? This is a punishable crime. This is fraud in the highest levels.
This crisis won't die down until the irrefutable truth comes out.
Have we found the real father of Lily and Archie, or the real mother? What is going on? Because the documentation and the laws that I'm going to show you pertaining those two children.
So all the pictures, my point is, out there were inconsistent with the idea of a real pregnancy.
The belly several shades browner than anywhere else. It's not supposed to be browner. Skin, when it stretches, gets lighter. It doesn't get darker.
What if the royal story we all swallowed was never the real one? Because tonight, a woman says she didn't just help bring Archie and Lilibet into the world. She says she gave birth to them. And not metaphorically, not emotionally, biologically.
Why doesn't she simply do what every other royal woman has always done and issue the proof that she produced those children?
She claims DNA, clinic records, transport logs, and paperwork that was quietly erased. And here's the part that made palace aides reportedly freeze. She says the children were taken and she was deleted. No thank you, no acknowledgement, no medical care, just silence.
We would have to do a way deeper dive on that and see if there's more footage and pictures that are available, but you would anticipate.
And if she's lying, this should collapse instantly. But if she's telling the truth, then this isn't gossip, it's a constitutional nightmare. So why hasn't the palace denied it? And why is everyone suddenly very quiet? If there's nothing to hide, why does everything look hidden?
They want to hide their secrets, and
All Harry and Meghan need to do is prove to us that she popped those babies out. And that's all they need to do. And if they don't, it is unfair on the children.
Let's rewind. A fairy tale romance, a glowing duchess, two miracle babies, privacy, compassion, modern motherhood. Perfect. Now, the private version, conflicting timelines, disappearing names, birth announcements that contradicted themselves within minutes.
There's just too many unknowns. And then, of course, we have that the doctor that allegedly delivered Lily quit her practice 2 weeks after giving birth to Lily, or delivering Lily.
And one woman, let's call her DL, who was never supposed to speak. She wasn't famous, she wasn't royal, she was useful. According to DL, she wasn't some anonymous surrogate from a brochure. She claims she is the biological mother.
Silence everybody and just produce a DNA sample or proof of delivery.
Not whispered, not emotional, calm, rehearsed, certain. And then she says something chilling. They removed me from the story like I was a mistake. Wait, what? If this was all clean, why was anyone erased?
They need to prove that those children, Meghan and Harry, are not entitled to privacy in this matter. And their privacy is trumped by our right to know that no bastard is going to sit on the throne of this country.
Something about the pregnancy visuals made people pause. Not gossip pause, medical pause. Because observers noticed something strange. The belly appeared noticeably darker than the surrounding skin. That's not how pregnancy works.
She only gained weight after the birth, because up to the birth, there's not a photograph of her. The belly several shades browner than anywhere else. It's not supposed to be browner.
When skin stretches, it lightens, it thins. It doesn't deepen in tone like a shadow was brushed on. Pregnancy isn't a Photoshop filter. And that wasn't the only detail that refused to behave.
I want to be very clear up top here. There are conflicting reports, a lot of conflicting details about how it happened, but we tried to source the most reliable one.
Then there was the weight. DL says she gained over 60 pounds. That tracks with biology. What doesn't track is what the public actually saw. Thin arms, sharp collarbones, no swelling, no softness, no post-birth exhaustion.
And I thought, is she not contextually aware? She's trying to hide something. This is really sloppy pool.
Pregnancy weight doesn't pick favorites. It doesn't skip arms and shoulders out of politeness. And that's when attention shifted away from the visuals and toward the paperwork, because that's where things get uncomfortable.
And also, she definitely did not gain 65 pounds.
Put up a camera, fixate it, and then both of you start twerking. Because in her mind, she was thinking, I'm going to release this later in a Netflix doc or release it later to show people how relatable I am. Otherwise, you can have a cute moment with your husband without recording it. Like, why would you record this for any reason? Why would you record this in the hospital?
Days after the birth, something changed, quietly. A name disappeared. Not crossed out at the hospital, not corrected immediately, removed later, silently. Clerical errors don't erase mothers, especially not on documents tied to lineage, and that single edit may have stopped something far worse from happening.
The whole description she does of the Portland hospital, the birth, that was completely fabricated. We all know.
Then came the announcements, plural. One statement said labor had just begun, another confirmed the baby had already been born. Those two things cannot exist at the same time. That's not confusion, that's improvisation.
Here, the doctor talks about both the children. And listen to what she says.
Okay, Meghan Markle, the reason why you watch her interviews and she just seems off. She's owned by a pharmaceutical company. The two children that she had, they're not hers. She didn't have them with Harry. And how her and Harry met is that she's a prostitute.
And DL claims the child had already been born weeks earlier, which turns a press release into a performance. And finally, the location. DL says the birth didn't happen where the world was told. She says it happened in the United States, far from cameras, far from witnesses, far from protocol.
In the second supposed pregnancy,
Or Megnancy, as you like to call it, Lady C.
Privacy isn't secrecy, unless you need it to be. And if all of that sounds strange, that's because this wasn't the strangest part. Not even close.
A royal physician was not allowed to examine her womb. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but if I were pregnant with a royal child, you would want that child in the best care of the best medical practitioners that money could buy.
The internet did what the palace didn't. It zoomed, it clipped, it compared. TikToks lined up timelines like crime scenes. Tweets circled dates in red. Memes screamed, "The math ain't mathin'."
There is no way on earth that any doctor on this earth would allow a woman with a geriatric pregnancy, high risk, and with 2 epidurals to leave the hospital within an hour of giving birth, which means that the doctors would have had to deliver Archie, spank his ass, wipe Meghan Markle, put her on a van or whatever, and just send her off without testing to see whether there was any nerve damage, because epidurals do that.
One viral post read, "So we're supposed to believe she delivered, then walked out in heels with 0 swelling, like it was brunch?" Another joked, "If this were Netflix, we'd call it unrealistic." And the comments? Brutal. Would you believe that clip if you saw it today? Comment below.
All of the other royal birth certificates of all other royal babies, even the queens, they have her names on it. But Meghan Markle,
Here's where it stops being messy and starts being dangerous, because if surrogacy was used, fine, that's not scandal. The scandal is non-disclosure.
Something else that people are finding to be odd, and again, we do not have a full picture, so we can't report this as an absolute fact. It does seem a little bit mysterious.
Royal succession laws don't bend, they don't vibe, they don't modernize. They demand verification, witnesses, documentation, transparency. If even one document was altered to fit a narrative, this isn't about feelings, it's about legitimacy.
Everything she's done has only drawn more speculation and brought the controversies back up about how Meghan and Harry have handled all of this, as well as the rumors that perhaps they used a surrogate for one or both of the children.
And suddenly, brands pulled back, projects stalled, silence replaced speeches. Hollywood doesn't fear scandals, it fears unverifiable ones. And the silence? That might be the loudest clue.
8 months pregnant at the time. Look at her arms. They are stick thin. She doesn't seem to understand that when women are pregnant, they gain weight.
This isn't about one woman. It's about credibility. History shows us something brutal. When origin stories are staged, the collapse is never quiet.
Like, why lie? It was just so truly bizarre.
If timelines were rewritten, if paperwork was adjusted, if a mother was erased, then the question changes. Not, did this happen? But what else did they rewrite?
So all of the pictures, my point is, out there were inconsistent with the idea of a real pregnancy.
Because institutions survive scandals. They don't survive paper trails. If they can hide this, what else disappeared?
But if you look at this, Meghan Markle has been incredibly quiet about the birth, but mostly the pregnancy of these children. Everything has been shady. The one who's been blabbing and saying crazy things is Prince Harry.
One woman says she gave birth, the palace says nothing, and the documents don't behave. This isn't over. Not legally, not culturally, not historically. So tell me, if she releases the files, who do you believe? If you love scandals served cold, subscribe, because this story is just getting started.